the Miami Dolphins. Here's 15. You've got Colin Kaepernick. You've got 16. Ryan Mallett. I don't know. Maybe not. But let's say even they're cool with their quarterback situation. Now you have the same situation here at 17 that you had at 9 with the New York Giants. You have Phillip Rivers, a guy who's chosen in this case to play out the rest of his contract. So is it possible that the Chargers, which here's what I'm saying. Here the point I was making initially, that wherever he gets drafted, Marcus Mariota, he's going to be far from home, man, and a guy who's so meek in personality, to ask him to step into a huddle and lead adults that have mortgages and children and that whole deal. I thought about this yesterday. Guys like Vince Young, who ended up going to the Titans out of Texas instead of Houston drafting him. A guy like Matt Leinart not reuniting with the USC guy and Jeff Fisher from all reports, who wanted him and didn't want Vince Young. How those dynamics play into how, especially a quarterback's career winds up. Being in a situation that's so uncomfortable. Vince Young initially having to sit the bench, Matt Leinart having to sit the bench. First of all, I feel like Matt Leinart knew he wasn't an NFL quarterback. He's the kid that went back to USC to take ballroom dancing after he'd accomplished everything. He'd won a national championship. He'd won the Heisman Trophy. There was nothing left in college for him to experience or win, but he still went back for that final year. I think he's a guy, and even when he got to the league, he was still hanging around college campuses and in bathtubs or whatever, hot tubs with college girls and all this kind of stuff. I think he's a guy who enjoyed and knew that I'm not going to get any better than I am. He had a pop gun arm, that left-handed stroke. He was not the most accurate guy. He was surrounded by a bunch of talent at the University of Southern California. Lindell White and Reggie Bush was in the backfield. He had a gamut of talent around him. But I'm thinking the same way about Marcus Mariota. So if he does fall to 17 and ends up going to the San Diego Chargers, that's not, necessarily that far. Inevitably, we're talking about the islands versus the mainland, but it's still in California, closer to the Pacific, right on the Pacific coast, I should say, and may feel more comfortable to him. Because I remember when after Junior Seau committed suicide, they were talking about how there is such a large, Polynesian, Samoan community in San Diego, which would again make Marcus Mariota feel more at home, and maybe help him acclimate. Guys like Manti Te'o are out there as well. Another guy from the Pacific Islands playing for the team. I think enough people don't put enough thought into that part of the equation when it comes to these kids. That's what they are. They're kids being drafted, into the real world, where now you have to do everything. You have to wake yourself up in the morning. You have to, when the off season comes, you have to work out. You have to take care of your body during the season. Guys who go out, the guys who last the longest are the guys who get the massages and they get, their bodies taken care of, chiropractor work and all that kind of stuff that doesn't happen at the facility necessarily. They do that stuff early. It allows them to last longer and have a more possibly a more fruitful career. Let's see, where are we going now? More NFL news here. As far as Greg Hardy's concerned, now this NFL thing and the way they're acting is ridiculous to me about this kind of stuff. They've sued the prosecutor's office for the evidence in the Greg Hardy case because they need, for whatever reason, they need this evidence in order to figure out how they're going to punish him or what the suspension is going to look like. And it all stems from, as everyone probably knows, the Ray Rice situation, the uproar that happened after Ray Rice was suspended for 2 games, and for whatever reason, that's not the cost of doing business as far as being a spousal abuser, a spouse abuser. You know, the cost of doing business is more than 2 games. And in Ray Rice's case, it's a career. He's done. He's done. Partly because of the domestic violence case, and partly because he's a declining running back. He's a declining player at a position that's been devalued, and I can go find some 20-year-old kid to do the same exact job that you do for a lot less money, Ray, and a lot less headache. So he's done. We talked about last week him selling his mansion in Baltimore, moving back to his hometown in upstate New York. And now it's time to get on to the second chapter of your life, the second phase of your life, whatever that may be. It's time, it's time to get there. As far as this Greg Hardy thing is concerned, the league has reached a deal with the Mecklenburg County District Attorney's Office to take 7 photos from Hardy's bench trial last summer. Hardy was found not guilty in that trial, but appealed to have a jury trial, and then had the charges dismissed when the accuser, Nicole Holder, failed to appear in court. The one detail they're forgetting to they're omitting here is that there was a civil settlement between Mr. Hardy and Miss Holder before she went missing and no one could find her. So that happened. Joseph Person of the Charlotte Observer reports that the photos are of Holder's injuries and were taken by a quote medical advocate. They will only be seen by the NFL and NFLPA, so they won't have the photos actually in their possession. They'll be able to see them, and for whatever reason, I don't know. This whole thing, like if Ray Rice, and they lied on Ray Rice, the judge who awarded Ray Rice this whatever money he sued about and about his suspension and all this kind of stuff, found that they lied and said when they said that he didn't tell them what happened, he told them what happened. But for whatever reason, it's different when you see a dude punch a woman. Like if you tell me that you hit your woman with a left hook and knocked her out, yeah, I pretty much know what that looks like. I don't have to see a video. I was telling Rob the other week, I've seen the video one time. There was no need for me to see it over and over again. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was a huge punch by an athletic human being hitting a woman and knocking her cold. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So in this Greg Hardy case, same thing. Now, no, not same thing. If it's a situation where he's told them what happened, seeing this woman's injuries is not going to, like, how does that make it better or worse? If she had a scratch on her face or her cheek or whatever, may be the case. It's just a bunch to do about nothing. It's because the NFL and Roger Goodell are cowards. They want to bow down to everyone's adverse reaction. Everyone who's offended by anything gets to have a say. No, you don't. Sometimes this is just our business. If the Dallas Cowboys or whatever other team in the NFL wanted to hire Greg Hardy, so be it. There's nothing keeping them from doing so. Nothing legally. There's no rule in place in the NFL that's keeping them from doing so. And if that's the way he continues to choose to make his living, and someone is willing to hire him to do it, it's America. It's America. For all intents and purposes, the man is not guilty, as far as the courts are concerned. On appeal, the charges were dismissed. Now, that doesn't mean he's innocent, because I'm the first one to tell people, stop saying that. I'm innocent. I told y'all I was innocent. No, what you were, Casey Anthony, is found not guilty. There's a difference, George Zimmerman. You were found not guilty, not innocent. That's not even a legal term when it comes to people on trial and so forth. You're either guilty or not guilty. And the two things, not guilty and innocent, are not synonymous of one another. So that's the weirdness that's going on with the Greg Hardy thing. And like people are like losing their damn minds about this stuff. For example, again, reading the little comments at the bottom of these articles, sometimes I venture down there and check out what people are saying. Yeah, it's people so stupid as to believe this dude is going to be suspended for the whole year. First of all, there is a personal conduct policy. Like the big sticking point in all this is really which personal conduct policy is he going to fall under, the new one or the one that happened while he got in trouble, the one that he was under while he got into trouble? Now, we've already found out from Adrian Peterson that Judge Doty was like, no, you can't do that. You can't punish this dude under a policy that occurred after he presumably got in trouble. But they're going to try it. They're going to try it with Greg Hardy, too. The NFLPA and Greg Hardy's lawyers are going to have to file a grievance again and take it to court. And all that does is allow the NFL to wash his hands of everything and say, look, we tried. Everything that we did wrong last time by not going after the Ray Rice tape, we did it this time. We sued the prosecutor's office from North Carolina, got the evidence. We issued a punishment based on said evidence. But now, look, the court said we can't do it. So he's got to be suspended for whatever it is, 2 games or 3 games or whatever it is, under the old policy. So then when anybody jumps up and says, oh, the NFL, they're supporting domestic violence, which is stupidity. The NFL is a business. Like, stop looking for these sports organizations to be a moral compass for something. Now, if they choose to be, fine. But if they don't, understand what they're there for. One, to make money, and to produce a product, which is basketball, baseball, football, whatever the particular sport is. So quit looking for the sport. Like, it's the same thing with like rappers and the whole thing with when the Ferguson stuff was going on. Because Iggy Azalea is a rapper, she should have something to say negative. Just rap. And second of all, get better at rapping if you're Iggy Azalea. I'm just saying that part. Get better at it. But no, people, accept people for what they are. Stop trying to tell people that, but you're still a role model. No. Because you know nothing about, let's say, Chris Brown. And then what ends up happening is you end up looking like a hypocrite, because what happens? Oh, I'll never buy another Chris Brown. I hate Chris Brown. I'll never listen to another Chris Brown record. Yep. Till time goes by and Chris Brown is pumping out hits again, and he's singing the hook on everybody's record. He's on the Young Money stuff that everyone loves. Yeah. Good luck on that one. Yeah, Chris Brown's a talented singer. That's it. If he's an a-hole and a woman beater, that's another issue for somebody else to deal with. Not me. You know what I mean? Like, I got enough stuff. Just as an adult, I have enough stuff I need to deal with than to be, being someone else's moral police, some rich kid's moral police. Nah. Chris Brown is just an entity to me. He's not even like a real human, if that makes sense. He's a dude that, every quarter hour, there's probably going to be a song on the radio with his voice on it. And he's talented. He's a talented dude. So whatever else crazy he has in him, that's somebody else's issue to deal with, not necessarily mine. I mean, if I'm going to sit here and be, 100% honest with you, and I feel the same way about the NFL. They've taken on this mantle of, we're going to be the defenders of domestic violence and all this kind of stuff, and that's cool. But I don't need to see those weird commercials where no one's speaking every 10 minutes during a football game either. I don't need to see that. Oh, before this hour is up, we got about a minute left. I'm glad I mentioned that, because I heard the stupidest thing ever today. The dumbest, I'm saying stupidest. Yes, not most stupid. It was the stupidest thing I heard, and I retweeted. I tweeted about it at Sports Kings Live. That's our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I tweeted about this. Mark Schlereth today on, I guess, NFL Live. Yeah, on ESPN. He said, what did he say? He said he wasn't aware of domestic violence until he saw the Ray Rice tape. Wait, what? What? Exactly. That's ridiculous. You're an adult. How does Ray Rice punching his woman unconscious make you say, wow, there's really domestic violence? Yeah, he's an idiot. Anyway, that's going to do it for this hour. We'll be back with the second hour of the Sports Kings podcast via Spreaker.com. Remember, Sports Kings Live is our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.